Is basic training getting easier or harder? I would argue that it's always getting easier. And I'll explain why. Back in the 1940s, what did basic training have? It had racism, and the drill sergeants would hit you. Now you fast forward a couple years to your grandfather's time, my grandfather's time, right? The racism was probably gone, but you still got hit. And then you fast forward a little bit to my father's time, they would still put their hands on you, but not to the same degree. And then you fast forward to my time in the service, they never put their hands on me, and all they did was yell at me. Made me do a lot of push-ups, obviously, corrective training, physical training, all that stuff. Mountain climbers, you know the whole nine, right? If you've been to basic training. So I can only assume that the next generation of soldier is not even going to get yelled at. Because look where we started. Some of that shit had to go. The racism had to go, right? Look where we started, and look where we are now as far as basic training. It has only gotten easier, and exponentially easier, actually, as the years have gone on, right? As time has progressed. So I would argue that not only is it getting easier, it's going to continue to get easier in some way or the other. Anyways, I tell you all that just to get to what we're going to be watching today, which is by Angry Cops. This is like a favorite of the channel whenever we cover Angry Cops. And 2 or 3 of you have already hit me up in the Discord about this. So
drill sergeant senses tingling, but that can only mean one thing. Basic training units are making drill sergeants weaker by telling them they can't swear or toss barracks. Looks like I'm gonna have to balance check basic training and bypass all these bullshit rules. Memos for this, memos for that. So many memos that the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, had to get involved and say no. Slamming people's in the toilet seat and saying no more of these stupid freaking rules.
yeah. Who's proposing this shit? Who's proposing these rules? I thought these rules were literally established by Pete himself coming up with this shit. And who's like pushing it forward as like, this is something we should take a look at. Who's doing that? No swearing. See what I was talking about earlier before we even started the video, man. God damn. Swearing, Jesus Christ. Where do you think I learned my colorful vocabulary? I mean, yes, my dad was in the service and he had just as much a potty mouth as I did when he was at work. But however, when he was at home in front of my mother and my sisters, he did not speak that way. So where do you think I got my colorful language from? From my drill sergeants. It still lives rent-free in my head, but I'll never forget it, man. One of my favorite sayings I've ever heard come from a drill sergeant. He said, "You want to play fuck games, Private? Okay, that's fine. I got fuck games too, Private. I got so many fuck games, Private, I'll put Milton Bradley out of business. Okay? So fuck with me again." Dude, that was the funniest shit I had ever heard from a drill sergeant. That shit had, and I was standing at the position of attention and formation, so you have to imagine how difficult that was. That in itself, man, some of these drill sergeants, they would just like be making you laugh. They would be making you laugh either on purpose or on accident. And you're just at the position of attention, just literally fighting demons to not laugh. I look back on it with nostalgia, and you motherfuckers are trying to make it like even fun. It's not even worth it if it's not like a stressful, I don't know. Maybe we're all just different from back in the day, right? Maybe.
Drill sergeant, what are these dumb rules? I will show you the way, young private. One of them is there's no swearing anymore. Drill sergeants aren't supposed to swear because it makes them seem unprofessional. Yeah, okay. Get the fuck over here, guys. Yeah, did that seem unprofessional?
No, but it did trigger a small piece of PTSD. Or this classic one. "Hey, you with the face, get the fuck over here." I don't know what to do with my hands, man. We all got faces. Who's he talking to? Oh, it's just, y'all are getting rid of the most fun part of it.
Did it seem scary? Like I added a little bit of pizzazz. We'll break that one down in just a moment. Or how about another memo that says no more tossing barracks, drill sergeants? We're supposed to be the privates' friends. And how could we befriend them and hug them and give them smooches if we're throwing their barracks all around because they're undisciplined little pieces of shit that don't
Then how?
know how to keep their gosh dang house clean? But thank God. God! The military's guardian angel, SecDef Pete Hegseth, stepped in and said, no more of this bull.
Dude has been a godsend so far.
But
at least as far as the military goes.
let's get down to business and break down these stupid fucking memos. Memorandum for all company personnel subject. Policy letter number 8, profanity-free campus. Oh, we live on a campus now. I forgot. We are in college. These are college students meant to be coddled and swayed back and forth to sleep and not hear any bad words that they haven't already heard on television, YouTube. They're gosh dang Japanese anime, tentacle porn shit.
There was one word that our first sergeant, my second duty station, there was one word and one word only that he would not let anybody use. And that was the N-word. Y'all are not that. Y'all are soldiers. Y'all are battles. Y'all are, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that stupid shit. I catch any of y'all, so y'all can say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But that word right there, and our drill sergeant was a black dude, so yeah. It carried a little bit more weight than if it was just a white first sergeant saying that, right? He's like, I'm not having that shit in this fucking company. Y'all can go ahead and cut that shit out right now. And that's the only thing, that's the only rule he really had as far as like the shit we would say. And especially as like the shit, that dude would not police the way we talk to each other.
In official capacities during duty hours. Vulgar language? Oh, me. Rude gestures, well, you can off. Such language does not align with the Army's core values and undermines the integrity of our soldiers and our formations. Therefore, it will not be tolerated in the 43rd Reception Battalion. Oh, you're gonna tolerate it. You're gonna tolerate the shit out of it. You know what? I'm gonna read this the way that it sounds to me. Restrictions. Vulgar or disparaging language will not be utilized during meetings, briefings, training exercises while addressing superiors, peers, or trainees. Vulgar or offensive language will not be displayed on any piece of clothing or personal effects at any time within the battalion footprint. Does this guy know we go to war? Is this dummy who wrote this stupid fucking memo that we're barely even halfway through? Does he know what the Army does? We got battalion mottos like kill 'em all. Isn't that?
Blood, blood, blood makes the green grass grow. What are we even doing? Profanity, loud, rude gestures. You know that, like, people shoot at us, and I'm saying? And you're worried about words? I hate motherfuckers like you. I really do. Who the fuck wrote this memo? There's no way they have a combat patch. Ain't no way. I refuse to believe it. Prove me wrong, though. Out of all of the infinite, more dangerous, deadly shit we gotta fucking worry about in a combat zone, you're worried about some motherfucking profanity in motherfucking basic training. Basic training is the place that is supposed to break you of all fucking fear. Because if you can take 3 grown-ass, big-ass fucking drill sergeants berating you, talking to you like you're a piece of shit, talking to you like you're nothing, talking to you like you're less than dirt, I feel that you're gonna fare pretty well if you ever encounter the enemy. How the fuck do you expect to perform in front of the enemy if you've never even been fully tested, man? And that's what the drill sergeants are for. That's what they're there for, not just to train you, but they are your enemy. If you can take a drill sergeant, at least in my time and prior, you could take the enemy. If you could take these motherfuckers, turning your whole world inside out, screaming at you, having at you at the position of attention for 7 straight hours, but just on straight exhaustion, and then you gotta walk into your fucking barracks room running on 30 minutes of sleep, and you gotta clean the barracks that he just fucking trashed, right? You gotta deal with that. Because what if you're in a combat zone and the enemy comes in and trashes your whole fucking fob, comes in there, kills 2 or 3 people? I mean, yeah, y'all win the day, but now your generator's fucked up, your radios are fucking gone, half of your fob is on fire, you got tents burning, everything is in fucking shambles, and you're running on 30 minutes of sleep. What do? If you've never really had to deal with anything that stressful before. That's their whole purpose. Stress you the fuck out so insanely much so that when you get to combat, you're just like, oh, buddy. My drill sergeant was scarier than you. I mean, come on, man. It's so self-explanatory that I can't believe I just had to explain that shit. What kind of non-deploying civilian-ass mindset motherfucker wrote this fucking memo? You need to go on K-duty for this, really, for the most part. That's the only place I really think that you'll have any kind of value or impact on the armed forces. Go. Take off, sir. fuck, man, and do a couple push-ups on your way.
Don't use vulgar language or swearing at peers. Oh, okay, so I can't be like, hey, Sergeant so-and-so, can you give me that fucking thing over there with the stuff? Can you hurry the fuck up, please?
That's how we spoke to each other, man. And if you're a veteran, you're gonna understand this type of, the way we formulate our sentences, okay? Yo, Johnson, can you fucking, go get fucking Sergeant Perez, and I need the fucking keys to the Connex, I need the keys to the fucking BII box for the fucking LHS, and then fucking, fucking, yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Thanks. That's how we speak. That's how most of us speak. And we don't even know we're doing it. It's just, we use profanity like we breathe. We don't breathe on purpose. We just breathe.
It's up to all leaders to enforce this policy and create professional environment all soldiers are entitled to operate within as they complete their official duties.
Man, fuck all that. If you can't take the language, get the fuck out of the service. How about we just do that? On-the-spot verbal counseling. Hey, soldier, you said a naughty word. So, we're gonna counsel you because you said a naughty word. I know that there's a deployment cycle coming up, and we might get tasked to go over there, and we might quite possibly take life. But this language is unacceptable. Strike 2. Written counseling added to soldiers' board file, so that when you go to the board for promotion and you're standing there at the position of attention, instead of reciting the Soldier's Creed or the NCO Creed or the Army song, they're going to ask you, Specialist Falcon, says here that May 2nd of 2025, says here that you were in the motor pool and you said, and I quote, "Fuck bitches get money." Is this true, Specialist Falcon? Did you say, "Fuck bitches get money"? Huh? Yes, Sergeant Major. I didn't know anyone was Yes, Sergeant Major. I did say that. Well, that's unfortunate, Specialist, because we can't have anyone entering the ranks of the non-commissioned officers that speak that way. That is just unacceptable. Strike 3. Removal of favorable actions. Yo, Falcon, where are you going on leave, man? I'm going to California to see my girl. I can't go on leave. Why? What happened? Did you get in trouble? Yeah. What'd you do? I said fuck bitches get money when I was hanging out with my friends in the motor pool. Really? That's it? Strike 4. Chapter 1412B, separation for misconduct based on a pattern of behavior. All right, Mr. Falcon, your resume seems to be looking good here. Yeah, got that. Oh, it says here that you were separated from the military. Would you care to elaborate on why you were separated from the military? Yeah, so this on a few occasions of me hanging out with my friends in the motor pool, I said, forget women, acquire currency. But it was a little more crude, you see. And you must understand that behavior is just not tolerated by the armed forces anymore. We can kill, but we can't curse. And I did a little bit too much of the cursing, you see. Oh, I understand. Right. So, and I don't know what to make up there. I don't know if he gives me the job. I don't know if he denies me. I don't even know how to make that one funny. Yeah, when you say it like that, do you see how fucking retarded that sounds?
You're telling me if I say shit 4 times for one more good measure, you're gonna chapter me out of the military because I swore? I said shit 4 times, and now therefore I'm so undisciplined I have to be kicked out of the military because I said shit 4 times? I can smell the non-deployment on this turd. Tell me.
That's what I said. I don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's me or if that's the video, but yeah. Non-deployed as fuck. It's gotta be. There's no way.
never been overseas and actually had to deal with some stress or real-life issues to make a fucking memo that says, well, I don't think they should swear anymore.
Exactly.
We hope you don't post that memo right away, because me saying fucking dumb would have gotten me strike one, wouldn't it, sir? What a pussy. Swear words are making the military a not-so-good place to work. No, your incompetence is. Your idiocy is. And speaking of idiocy, let's get on to today's next contestant. Memo number 2. Now, the last one was
Yo, hold on now.
idiocy. Let's get on to today's next contestant. Memo number 2.
Hold on. Hold on now. Here. I know, I'm old. Shut the fuck up about it. Christopher J.C. Hallows. Colonel in commanding. Point of contact for this memorandum is the Brigade Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeant Major Blake Sims. Basically what this says is drill sergeants will not use bay tossing for any reason to include methods of corrective action. Let me tell you the type of shit that my drill sergeants were on, fellas. Our drill sergeant, he says, all right, fellas, Sunday, if you ain't going to church, you're fucking cleaning. So we started cleaning. We cleaned all day. This was like pretty early on into basic training. But we were still in red phase. And we clean. We thought we did a good job. And I was actually proud. I was like, dude, we fucking crushed this shit. Floor looks immaculate. Bathrooms are great, blah, blah. I think that when this motherfucker comes back, we're going to be able to chill. This motherfucker comes back. He checks everywhere. His last stop is the latrine. He goes into the shower, right? And none of us follow him in there. He just goes in there, looks around, walks into the open shower that was there. And then he comes back out holding a handful of just like dirt and fucking mud and hair and all kinds of shit. And he's just like, this is what you dirty motherfuckers call clean? Huh? This right here? Fucking disgusting. Get in the fucking bay right now. Front leaning rest. And while we stood in the front leaning rest, he went and destroyed everything. He flipped bunks. He made a mess of everything. Wall lockers, everything out. Deodorant, your clothing, pictures of your girlfriend, all of it out, shred, gone, on the floor, everything. We spent hours just sorting each other's shit. Like, yo, Johnson, found your girlfriend here, man. Thanks. All right. You got my socks? Cool. Thanks. At the very end of basic training, he sat us all down and he's like, men, y'all did good. Y'all made it. Congratulations. You have 5 minutes to ask me anything you want to ask me. And I'll answer truthfully. And we were just like, oh, hell yeah, right? So everyone asked a whole bunch of questions. People asked whatever they wanted to ask, and he would answer candidly, right? No yelling, no profanity, nothing. He was just straight up with us, right? I raise my hand, and I say, drill sergeant. He says, yes, Falcon. I was like, do you remember that one time in red phase where we busted our asses cleaning, and then you came in and went into the latrine, and went into the shower, and came back holding a whole bunch of bullshit, right? It was bullshit that you were holding, right? There's no way you found that, right? He's like, what's the question, soldier? Were you fucking with us, or did you actually find all that dirt and all that shit, all that trash? He's like, I was fucking with you guys, man. Like, I just picked a whole bunch of stuff up off the ground. I already had dog hair on me, so I fucking grabbed a lint roller, and I got all the dog hair off my uniform, and I just grabbed that, and I rolled it all into a thing. I just wanted to fuck with y'all, really, at the end of the day. Y'all did good. Y'all cleaned. It was amazing. It looked fantastic. Touche, my friend. I knew it, though. I spent all night wondering, like, man, I think that's bullshit. I think he's fucking with us. And I could never prove it. He told me. He told all of us. He was a good guy.
Now, the last one was from Fort Leonard Wood, home of the engineers, and this one's from...
That's where I went to AIT.
Fort Benning, home of the infantry.
Wow.
Infantry, a bunch of fucking babies. That's what this is run by. Let's break down what this brigade, I think, commander says. Subject, memorandum number 15, abuse of trainees, quote, bay tossing. Now, if you don't know what bay tossing is, that's when I instill a little...
There you go. There you go. Doesn't it look beautiful, ladies and gentlemen? And I'm telling you, you're going to be finding your friend's shit. Your friends are going to be finding your shit. Like, hey, I got your toothbrush. I got your deodorant. I don't know how because we're so far away, but hey, Blakely, I got your shower shoes. I don't know how. Like, you're on the complete opposite side. That's insane. Very efficient, drill sergeant.
A bit of discipline into my troops because they don't know how to clean their rooms. But it goes on into further detail a little bit later on in the memorandum. Let's go ahead and read on. Our mission is to provide competent, capable, and well-trained soldiers of good character ready to fight and win our nation's wars. There is no greater obstacle to the effectiveness of the IMT environment than the improper treatment of trainees. Abuse of trainees undermines the trust of the American public by violating Army values, disrupting military order and discipline, and destroying a positive training environment. Okay, that first paragraph makes sense. Don't abuse the trainees too much. You have to train them. We don't want to just beat them mercilessly.
Obviously. You have to have a balance.
Until they break, and then leave them there as puddles of piss, so that somebody else could be like, well, I guess we'll try to... No, we build them up. We tear them down, yes, but we build them up.
Yes.
But what does this brigade colonel think is abuse to trainees? The practice of bay tossing is strictly prohibited. Drill sergeants will not, quote, toss the bay, to include flipping mattresses, knocking over wall lockers, touching and or damaging trainees' personal items or equipment.
What personal items? It's basic training, my man. What personal items do they have? What personal items does a basic trainee have that could be damaged by a drill sergeant? Everything they have was issued by Uncle Sam. What are you talking about? Oh, so your drill sergeant fucked up your rucksack? Cool. Go to CIF and get another one. These trainees don't have phones. They don't have computers. They don't have iPods. They don't have Kindles. They don't have tablets. They don't have Nintendo Switches. What do they have? And so what if that picture of you and your girlfriend gets ripped in half? That's what's gonna happen anyway. She's cheating on you. You're not gonna be dating that girl for long whenever you come back and see that she's been ran through by all your fucking friends. Who gives a shit anyways?
Drill sergeants will not use bay tossing for any reason to include methods of corrective action. So then, what do I do when the bay looks like shit? Huh? Tell me what I can do. Tell me what I can do. You're taking shit away from me, guy. So why don't you tell me what I can do when the bay looks like shit? When they don't want to put their wall lockers, dress right dress. When they don't want to mop or fucking sweep. When they don't want to take out the
This is the same fucking officer that he does all these rules, right? And then whenever basic training graduation comes around, he shows up, right? Like every high-ranking fucker does. And he's just like, oh, wow. Why do they look like shit? Why don't they look coordinated? Why are they not in step? Huh? Where's the uniformity? Where's the discipline here? What's up? You took it away, you stupid ass. You took it away. This is literally the equivalent of defunding the police, and then you want to get mad about bad fucking cops. Yeah, when you defund them, all you're gonna have is shit ones. Duh.
From the gosh dang latrines, and there's stains on the inside of the toilet bowl. Huh? What do I do then? Do I just write negative counseling for them and say they didn't do anything? Well, off. You actually don't know what you're talking about because negative counselings don't mean dick, do they?
Negative counselings don't do anything. I got a negative counseling while I was deployed. I gave a fiddler's fuck. And the person that gave it to me, I literally wrote on the counseling. And I do it again. Step the fuck off my face, Sergeant. That's what you should do, especially on mission. And then you're giving me a counseling statement because you said some slick shit to me, and I didn't let it slide. Now you're mad because I didn't let it slide, and I punked your ass out in the middle of a random Afghanistan road in front of all your other subordinates. Tough shit. You should have left me alone. We're on mission, of all things, and you want to act like a cunt. I'll gladly sign that counseling statement. Matter of fact, I'll write it up myself. Save you the time. This type of leader is not ready for the E4 Mafia. He would crumble. He would get eaten alive.
For a trainee to get kicked out because of failure to adapt. Oh, you could just put down on paper a negative counseling. They're trainees. They don't even know what that means yet. They don't give a that you wrote down on a piece of paper.
Some of us don't give a fuck what that means in garrison, let alone a trainee that's just getting to learn the ropes of it.
That they suck. They need real consequences that they can deal with. And one of them is tossing the bay. It's in a basic training. I've told them the standards and taught it to them numerous times. And yet, a third of the bunks are still up. They don't know how to make their beds correctly. I've got bloated laundry bags filled with smelling clothing that they didn't wash the night before like they're supposed to. And I do what with it? I do what? I take a little sticky note and I pin it to it, and then I say, "Go, you need to clean this up better."
Oh, Angry, you know what you could do, man? Just some advice. Do you know what happened to us our first day? Right? So we go to reception. Naturally, you stay in reception for like 7 days, right? And after those 7 days, your future drill sergeants will walk up to reception and retrieve you. Once they retrieve you, they will march you to an open area where you will do a layout. You'll dump all your bags and you will do a layout, and they will inspect all your shit for contraband. Once they've done all that, they will march you to your new barracks. Do you know what we did after that contraband search on the very first meeting of our drill sergeants? We did that contraband search. We got marched to the barracks, and guess what we did? We marched to our barracks at like 10 in the morning. Do you know what we did inside those barracks until 7, 8 o'clock that night? Push-ups. I'm not even kidding, guys. We did push-ups the whole day. The drill sergeant said, and some of you are going to know this saying. Some of you may even get PTSD whenever I say this. Gentlemen, today, we're going to make these walls sweat. Got me? We ain't stopping until these walls sweat. And I just look back fondly on that. What's the problem with that? I hate that I miss it, and I can't believe I miss it, but I look back fondly on those times. Did it suck? Yeah. Was it awful? Yeah. Was it terrible? Yeah, but I had fun. I made friends. It was an experience. I feel like my experience in basic training at 19 years old was better than what my other friends were experiencing in college at the same age. The repelling gas chamber, like, did we get yelled at? Yeah, but guess what, man? I got yelled at my whole life prior to that. I had an overbearing Hispanic mother growing up. I got my ass whooped every other day. I got grounded every other week. My mom talked to me worse than some of these drill sergeants did when I was 8. So when I got to basic training, that yelling shit, I was just like, you're not louder than my mom, I can tell you that. I mean, obviously I didn't say that, but I was just like, I've heard worse come from my mom. I've heard equally as bad come from my baseball coaches, right? Baseball in the South is a serious thing. So it's just the way that I grew up. I got the basic training, and like a lot of the shit that people find hard, stressful, and and just too much, overstimulating, that shit was easy for me. I was just like, okay, yelling, used to it. Insults, used to it. Profanity, I get that shit in English and in Spanish from my mother, right? Mass punishment, used to that too, right? Exhaustion, used to that. Lack of sleep, used to that, right? So it was only a matter, for me, it was only a matter of just learning the way the military worked. I just don't get it with I don't get it.
Can't swear at them either because they need everybody here in basic training to be. There was one guy on Twitter, the Buddy Command Sergeant Major, and his tweet got over 500,000 views and hundreds.
Hold on, what does it say? Share a piece of getting smoked lore about yourself.
Buddy Command Sergeant Major, and his tweet got over 500,000 views and hundreds of comments, and everybody loved it. And do you know what it was? Do you want to know what it was, Colonel? It was hundreds of troops sharing how they got the smoked out of them and their barracks tossed and how they loved it. How they were proud to tell other people they had gone through the gauntlet, survived, had a strong amount of discipline instilled in them, and they carried on for their fantastic military careers.
You know how many stories I shared with my friends when I got to my unit? Yo, what was your basic training like? Yo, what was your basic training like? Yo, what was like the craziest shit? Who was the dumbest one? That's always a topic of conversation. The dumbest one in basic training? Oh, you get talked about forever. Very small circles that you get talked about, but you get talked about forever. Who was the dumbest one? Who was the best one? PG Brown, you were our best one. And another topic of conversation is who was the craziest drill sergeant? Who was the loudest drill sergeant? Who was the scariest? Who was the most feared? Who was the one drill sergeant that you avoided like the plague? Man, you would literally go out of your way and walk 5 extra miles through fire, through glass, barefooted, before you tried to even come close to navigating around this drill sergeant. Like, that's how you felt. You were just, you looked at him like a minefield. So there's all the conversation. It's just like, and you're removing what makes basic training not only effective, but special. Why do you think people love Dark Souls? Why do you think people love Bloodborne? Why do you think people love Sekiro? Why do you think people love Elden Ring? It's because these games, they're hard. They're hard. They're difficult. They will piss you off. They will test your dedication. They will test your willpower. They'll test everything about you at a core level too. Man, they'll test your patience. They'll test your intestinal fortitude. And why do people play it? So they can do something difficult and hold it over other people that can't do it. And they can tell stories amongst the community of like, yeah, I beat that shit. I remember when I beat it too. I failed like 30 fucking times and I finally got that shit. And in celebration, I threw my controller and broke it. But I didn't give a fuck because I beat this piece of shit, right? That's why people love those games. The challenge. But you don't see it that way, sir. You're all about feelings and emotions and fucking, oh goodness sakes.
Everybody was braggadocious about who got it worse, or who had a more interesting way of getting smoked, or having their tossed, or having a drill sergeant say something to them. You're fucking handcuffing us behind our backs, and it's not fair. Oh, you get to sit there in your high tower and on all of us doers. All the doers. We're the doers. You're the sayer. You're the officer. You say do this, and guess what we do? We do it. We're the do.
This is the equivalent of like the president of a coal mine, the commissioner of coal or whatever the fuck. Whoever owns a coal mine, runs it, and has workers. This is the equivalent of that guy waking up one day, going into the coal mine, and being like, fellas, from now on, we have to maintain a tidy appearance, okay? You can't be dirty. You can't have smudge all over your face, looking all disheveled and dirty like you ain't got no home training, okay? We're not doing that anymore. If I see any of you with dirty pants, dirty shirts, I'm gonna have to dock you pay. Do you understand me? All right? We have to maintain a professional look while we're operating, fellas. Come on, get with the program. It's 2025. Man, how stupid that sounds. You know how stupid that sounds? Real.
Doers, stop with our job. And I love how the point of contact for this memo is a Command Sergeant Major. Hey there, Command Sergeant Major.
I was gonna say that, but I knew Angry was gonna get to it. Hiding behind your Sergeant Major, and your Sergeant Major is probably equally as cowardly because he actually lets you write this memo and publish it with his name on it as the contact. So he either agrees with your sentiment or he's just too afraid to say anything to you. Which one is it? And now he's gonna have to field a whole bunch of calls and emails from pissed off people when he could have just stopped you from doing this in the first place and saved him the time and the headache, you and the company, and quite possibly the whole fucking brigade, the embarrassment. Yikes, sir. Big yikes.
You look stupid too.
Yeah.
I don't know whose bright idea it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's the officers. I feel like it's the Sergeant Majors. I feel like it's a private hugging Sergeant Major who says, like they all stereotypically do, you know, when I was a drill sergeant, I smoked the shit out of people, and I broke all the rules, and I made really good troops, but now that I'm in charge, I'm going to slaughter every single one of you who steps even a little bit out of line. And
yeah, sounds like fucking Peter Dinklage now, doesn't it? But when it comes to all these other little fucking actors that want to be in movies because they're small, yeah, we're not gonna have that.
If you follow the rules, but it's a rule that I don't like, I'm still going to slaughter you. You look like you look dumb. What a freaking dumb.
You look weak. I'd rather be dumb than weak.
That people above, the idiots who wrote this memo, said, hey, what the are you doing? You look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe basic training's supposed to be hard. Maybe leave the doers alone. And now I quote the rescinding memo. Memorandum for record. Subject, policy memorandum number 15. Abuse of trainees, bay tossing, is rescinded. You don't say. The 197th Infantry OSIT. Oh, it's infantry. Oh, an infantry brigade got told, don't flip the barracks, they're infantry, they're too soft. Oh, you're never gonna live it down. Oh, you're never gonna live it down. Engineers coming over here up, and the infantry's in their base like, please don't kick my soft shoes and boots.
I feel so fortunate that I went to Fort Knox for basic training. What about you guys? Where'd y'all go? I'm not 100% about Fort Benning, but Fort Knox at the time that I went, and just Fort Knox as a basic training, was an all male basic training. There were no women. There were no female soldiers. There were no female drills. The only females we saw on a daily basis were the lunch ladies. And when we first got there, these ladies were just hideously ugly. And then by week 9, some of them were looking like Sydney Sweeney. I'm for real. I was just like, oof, I can't believe I just thought of her that way. I gotta get the fuck out of basic training, man. I gotta go on leave.
Queen of Battle is right. The 197th Infantry OSID Policy Memorandum number 15 is rescinded as of 3 August 2025. And thank freaking God.
Yeah.
Now it's my understanding that word got all the way up to the SecDef and some other people, and well, they came down. Higher ups came down on that Infantry OSID Brigade. And they said, you better rescind that because we're not going to be building pansies on the front line. So how about you take that dumbass memorandum, rescind that scrunch it up real nice and tight and shove it way up your candy ass. But did the Secretary of Defense stop there? No, because when you're clearing house, you might as well keep that momentum going, baby. And he added this additional fantastic internet moment, which is make basic great again. Hegseth looks to return drill sergeant shark attacks to basic training. Posted by the man himself. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, coming back up to basic training land, getting ultra motivated. Oh yeah. Getting rid of that 100 yards and bringing back the shark attack. Oh yeah, shark's coming up. Coming up and down. Looking and smelling blood in the water. Oh yeah. If you think that you can escape a drill sergeant's sense, you will not, because it is always tingling, Private. Oh yeah.
And it's such a sight. You guys will never understand, and seeing it on the internet is one thing, but actually being there with your own 2 eyes, seeing 7 drill sergeants circling you, literally, dog, like fucking sharks, man.
Now for some of us, shark attacks haven't exactly left.
It shouldn't. I don't know what.
Somebody kept doing them anyways. Well, at least the good ones did. So finally, I have some good news to bestow on all you weirdos. Basic training's coming back, baby. Hotter and heavier than ever. We're going back to the early 2000s. So shine those boots. Make sure they're dressed right underneath those buttons.
Yeah. Mama, would you chill out? Yeah, that's how it was. And speaking of the cot, how did y'all operate in basic training when it came to your cot? So here's what I did. Surprisingly, my drill sergeants let me get away with this, right? And I even asked too, just to make sure, so I wasn't doing any fuck shit like, oh, they didn't say I couldn't, so I'm gonna, right? No, I made sure to ask the drill sergeant, but I made my bed one time in basic training, the day I got there. After that, I slept on top of this shit. That's it. I used my PT jacket as my blanket. I slept with my PT pants on with my PT shorts so that my legs wouldn't get cold. I had socks on, right? And then I used my my PT beanie to cover my eyes, right? That's how I slept. I made my bed one time in basic training, man. I made it once and I took it apart once when I was done with basic training. And honestly, I'm truly surprised that the drill sergeants let me get away with that. There was a couple of us that did that, actually. Other people, they would wake up, they would make their bed, but not me. And to be honest, man, I'm so surprised because like everything is about uniformity. I'm honestly surprised that a drill sergeant was like, no, soldier, fuck that. You see all these other soldiers making their bed, you're gonna make your bed too. But I asked my drill, I was like, can I sleep on top of my made bed if I wanted to? He's like, I don't see why not, soldier. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I said, really? He said, yes. Okay.
Bunks yours, because I'm going to be low crawling with my red lens underneath your bunks looking for whoever's passed out on fire guard. See you soon, Fort Leonard Wood. Get back here.
Oh, man. I never fell asleep on fire guard. How, bro? It's just an hour. Or was it 2? I can't fucking remember. I think fire guard was just an hour, man. I never fell asleep on fire guard. And my favorite time to have fire guard was at like 4 in the morning. That was my favorite time of fire guard. I hated 10. I hated 11. I hated midnight. Oh, dude, and one time I had fire guard at 2. That shit fucked me up completely as far as sleep the rest of that day. Fire guard at 4, you go until 5. 5:30, you're waking up anyways. So after fire guard, I wouldn't bother going back to bed, man. I'd go straight into the bathroom, brush my teeth, shower, shave, get ready for PT, right? And then by the time everyone was waking up, I was already ready to go. That was my favorite time for fire guard, when it coincided with a natural wake up. If it did not coincide with a natural wake up, fire guard pissed me off. Drill sergeants are supposed to be demon spawns who forged soldiers. Exactly. The senior drill is supposed to be the Baba Yaga himself. They are supposed to be feared and respected, and that's exactly how I saw them. Man, I did. Just like these untouchable titans that I could only hope to be like one day, you know what I'm saying? To off-quote a certain movie, if you can't handle being called a few rude words, how the fuck are you gonna be able to fire your rifle when grenades are going off in your face? What movie was that? Get rid of all officers who were responsible for the memos. Yeah, man. No mercy. Get rid of these weak leaders. That's it, bro. Weak. It's more weak than dumb. Dude, that's the crazy part. My senior drill instructor in 1977 could not say more than 2 words without the third swearing. The man was amazing. Yeah, that's how it is for us. I have since gotten better, man. I have a brother. I have a niece. God, there's women in my life. My mom, sisters, aunts. I try to like hold back on the profanity more now. At least for my niece. She's 4. These kids, they're a sponge. She was just in here, and I don't even realize if I even used profanity while she was just in here. You see, dude, I don't know if it's just a veteran thing, but for me, profanity, it's just like, when it happens, I don't even know what's happening. I'm telling you, man, it's like breathing. So I try not to do it so much now, but I used to be that way a lot. It's how we speak. It's how we understand each other. It's how we communicate with one another. Gotta be better about it now, especially out in public, man. Even if I'm talking with friends, I look around, man, any children, any fucking, see, there it goes again. I can't help that. I just can't. So there is something awe-inducing and soul-crushing about returning from a day of training and seeing a giant mass of horror piled in the middle of the tornado-hit bay, covered in every substance yeeted from all the unsecured wall lockers, every bare mattress and bunk frame ravaged and contorted into a sprawling mass of mangled abomination. Truly impressive and a certified lesson learner. LOL. And it is. It is. Like, we got our bait tossed one time, and I was just like, yo, we weren't even gone that long. And I should have known something was up. I should have known something was up. I was like, what is a different drill that's not in our platoon doing marching us? Something is afoot. We went to the dining facility. We weren't even gone like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I think. 10, 15 minutes. We ate fast as shit because we were used to eating fast as shit. We have to eat fast as shit. Got the fuck out. Didn't really pussyfoot around, went back to the barracks. When we get back, it's trashed. And I'm just like, how did you do all of this in 10 minutes? You're incredible. I couldn't do this in 10 minutes. I'm 55 years old and went through basic training at Fort Benning in January 1989, the year I was born. Some of my funniest memories from basic was getting off the cattle cars and getting in formation and having the circling sharks drill sergeants come in for fresh meat. It really is a sight to see. And you don't know what it's like until you've seen it. It was not fun at the time, but damn, I look back on it and I still laugh. Yep. You know that in that moment you're just like, yeah, I'm about to get fucked up. Yeah, dude. And you might complain. You might be like, oh, this fucking sucks. I fucking hate this. But I'm telling you, bro, 20 years into the future, you'll still remember it like it was yesterday, and you'll look back fondly. So don't take that away, dude. Not just because it's effective, but because it's... I'll see y'all later.